Good evening, everyone. We're been a long day, I'm sure, for a lot of us, but this is fantastic, and it's fun to be all here in person. So, when Corey asked me to come up and say a few words, it was a couple nights ago. I'm like, I got to really think about what I want to say. Well, once I started typing, I'm like, there's a lot I want to say. So I'm going to zip through this, but a lot of it's very meaningful to me, and hopefully it is for you as well. Again, my name is Brian Slipka. I'm a business leader, and I own and operate a few businesses. Actually, a few of them are in Minneapolis proper, the city of Minneapolis. My wife Megan and I created the Slipka Foundation back in 2012, and our mission is to have direct impact around, get this, targeted education, supporting the community, and helping build character in our society. That's our mission. So you can hopefully see why immediately Megan and I saw the value and how a Man Up Club is so important to us, certainly. So grateful to be here tonight. So I met Corey at the Super Bowl breakfast and Final Four breakfast planning sessions. We were both on the planning committee to help bring the community together through Athletes in Action for those big events here in the community, and it was a really powerful events that we had. But I'm here speaking to you guys tonight, and that includes a lot of the young men here, to help encourage you guys all to get a little uncomfortable. After all, being uncomfortable is one of the only ways you're going to learn, you're going to grow, and challenge yourself. And that's contrary to what society is going to often tell you or make you feel. But any of us or anybody who's ever accomplished anything in life that's worth something has done so by becoming uncomfortable and going through uncomfortable situations to get ultimately what they want, by intentionally stretching yourself. So we're going to get uncomfortable for a minute, and we need to do that for the Man Up Club. Corey, my faith is really important to me. Corey, we're brothers in Christ, and I just appreciate you and so grateful for you to have me up here. The thing that really drew me to Corey when I first met him were two things. First, empathy, balanced with accountability. And you could see right away the empathy Corey had about this mission with the Man Up Club. But he did it in a way that was balanced with accountability. And not just in general, but to himself, to actually act and start the Man Up Club, and then the young men that are being mentored, getting them to be accountable for what they can control to help others and to help those around them. The exciting thing about the Man Up Club is it's one of the few organizations in our society today that addresses systemic issues from the ground level, rooted in Christ-centered attributes: respect, self-worth, accountability, humility, value, with a long-term perspective. And it epitomizes to me the famous Teddy Roosevelt quote of being in the arena. That quote goes on: it's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat. So for the Man Up Club and all the team members that work with Corey, thank you. And I've had the opportunity to know Tony Dungy. Many of you guys know who he is. I've gotten to know him over the past few years, helping him with his Uncommon Award here in the Twin Cities. One of the things he always talks about is what it means to be uncommon, that success is not enjoyed by most common men, therefore it is uncommon, and how we should never be afraid to take the tough road, to follow a higher calling or set a higher standard. Society and social norms may default, but true success most often means actually being uncommon. That's from Tony himself. It's uncommon to find a mission and ministry like a Man Up Club where it challenges those to not accept certain social or societal norms, but strive to be uncommon. So, guys, that's why I'm here, and hopefully that's why a lot of you are here too. So when I think about what's going on, I also think about how so many of us are extremely blessed. And I ask myself, how can all of you, how can we do more? And So many things are done on the surface level. When strife hit the city of Minneapolis this summer, many ran for the hills. I mean, come on. Many ran for the hills, moved out, got out, or were making comments like, "You're not going to see me in the city anymore." Meanwhile, Man Up Club ran into the city. And candidly, that act largely inspired me to pursue a lot of expansion opportunities in the city for the businesses. We need to have our actions speak over our words many times. So ask yourselves, all of you, including the young men, how can your actions speak even louder than your words? And that's what Corey's teaching you guys. Now, being a Christian, I know at the end of the day, I believe God wins, right? So no matter what happens here on earth, that provides me comfort. In fact, I was listening to a message just this morning. This is a really interesting line, but we fight as Christians for others here on earth from a position of victory, not for victory. So let that sink in for a second. We fight as Christians for others here on earth from a position of victory, not for victory. So the point is, we can rest in the ultimate outcome that we know God wins. That's the good news. However, the follow-up question to that is, how am I reaching, stretching, getting uncomfortable to help others in the process? Ephesians 6 speaks to that struggle of it not being against flesh and blood, but against the forces often not visibly seen. In other words, spiritual forces. And that we are called to put on the armor of God, shield of faith, to fight these forces. And again, to me, that means that we all have to represent. It's our responsibility. So, how many of you guys have seen The Last Dance on ESPN? I know some of these guys from Chicago have, right? It was on ESPN. It was about the Bulls and Michael Jordan's years with them, leading up to his final year. And to me, besides Jordan being the best and greatest of all time in basketball, the series reminded me that Jordan didn't do it alone. And I found myself captivated to the storyline where I already knew, just like we know God wins, I already knew the outcome, much like how we know God wins in the eternal realm, right? But what really caught my attention was that series wasn't how Jordan just, he did single-handedly win some games, but how many games his teammates, role players, were in the broader narrative, and how many games did these role players step up? I mean, for those of you who follow the Bulls, Rodman, Pippen, Kerr, all instruments in that amazing Bulls narrative that created greatness that so many of us witnessed. So what's my point, okay? My point is that we are all role players in the greater narrative. What can each of you guys do here tonight, including you young men, to continue to support the Man Up Club? It's a broader mission to help these guys. It's itself an instrument to an even broader narrative of Christ here on earth. So anyway, I ask all of you to stretch yourself. How can we be pivotal role players in this greater narrative? How can we support this mission and ministry that leads with its actions, being in the arena when so many others are rationalizing on why to run out? Man Up Club needs all of us, each and every one of us. So let's give, and let's give generously.